Okay, this is a HAARP drought attack on Houston, Texas. It's April 28th and daybreak, according to the satellite map. This goes east in visible mode, and we can see this very odd arrangement of straight parallel clouds off the coast of Texas. Weather doesn't get any weirder than that, and I count about 12 to 14 of these straight parallel bars. And if we look at the surface map, they are calling this this line here. They're actually noting it on the national weather map, and frankly I didn't know what that symbol meant, so I had to look it up, and that means it is a trough. This dotted line means trough, meaning just an area of low pressure. I thought it was a dry line because Texas had a dry line push through yesterday, but it's not a dry line, it's a trough. But I can tell you it's actually a HAARP downburst attack for the simple reason that it's symmetric. Up here we see similar parallel lines and an equal distance away from the coast. They're doing a HAARP downburst attack to stop the rain from filling the Houston reservoirs, the water reservoirs of the city of Houston. And this is because Texas is the water rights in Texas go by the absolute dominion rule. Permits a landowner to intercept groundwater that would otherwise have been available to a neighboring water user, and even to monopolize the yield of an aquifer without incurring liability. In other words, the first one to sink a well and claim the water rights has the ability to exclude everybody else from using it. That's why Texas and Kansas are being droughted out by these billionaires, because they want Houston to be desperate for water, and then Houston will pay anything to get the water they need to live. Another reason that I can tell you this is not a natural weather feature is if we look at the surface pressure map. Down here you can see it's just really a jumbled up mess. Light south wind, light southeast wind, with not much of a pressure gradient, so it's just kind of stagnant at the surface. At the jet stream level, the wind is howling to the east, just howling. And also, if we look in the other wavelengths, shortwave infrared, I think. Okay, in shortwave infrared we can also see the same pattern. Okay, now here, water vapor mode. We see this line of water vapor that's stationary. Now, why is that stationary? Why is it in a straight line? The only thing that can make it be a straight line would be a dry line. We already see from the weather map they're calling it a trough, not a dry line. So back to the visible mode. What they're doing with the HAARP, and apparently this is a new HAARP transmitter in the Caribbean, so get used to drought. It's going to be here for a long time. As long as they run this Caribbean HAARP, they can drought anyone out in the southeastern U.S. But what they do is they send a downburst. You heat the ionosphere up here 50 to 100 miles high, and that pushes the surface air down like a big thumb. And then they're going to move this thing, and it's like the old inkjet printer. We can actually count that they moved it back and forth 14 times. And it shows up on the downstream side of the jet stream just because of the way the air is moving. But on the upstream side, there's only a little bit of this pattern left because the jet stream wipes it out so quick. Okay, so this identical cloud pattern up here, equally spaced from the target area, proves it's a HAARP downburst attack. And also, if we look at the historical weather maps, it's pretty terrible, because we can see that they have a history of stopping the rain on the Texas coast. Let me just step through some of these maps. Okay, here's a good example. This is the 27th, April 27th, day before yesterday. I mean, look at that. This is what happens when they do that HAARP downburst. And also, of course, down in South Texas gets this. The HAARP downburst happens. That dry air descending stops the rain, and you get this circular cutout, which then follows the coast. The other day they did it to the east coast of Florida. Let me find that one. Yeah, that's pretty good there. I mean, look at this. This is... No rain fell in Florida, and yet it gets, what, 100 miles east, and it just rains cats and dogs, and they let it. And then it moves out of the range of the radar, and we don't know what happened after that. But this is the HAARP downburst cutting off the rain, because it causes descending dry air. Okay, so that is why Houston has drought. That is why Houston will be paying, 8 times more for drinking water in the next couple of years. And if you want to stop that, you need to realize what's being done to you. Okay? The drought in Houston is man-made. I hope this is enough evidence for you. And let me just say one thing, is that with the global warming in progress, the oceans are getting much warmer. That means there's more water vapor in the atmosphere. And what that means is that there should be more rain, there should be more clouds, there should be more fronts, there should be more wind. Basically, more rain and more energy in the atmosphere. And what do we see in Texas and Kansas? Less rain. Lots and lots of wind, lots of energy, but less rain. This is not natural. Mother Nature has a way of dealing with this climate imbalance. If we leave her alone, she will have more clouds, more rain, more plant growth, and more wind and more storms. But that can't be helped. But these HAARP transmitters are killing planet Earth, and the chemtrails are poisoning everything. It's got to be stopped. And any meteorologists out there, if I'm making some terrible mistake, please leave a comment and correct me. I'll be very happy to be proven wrong. So if anybody finds an error in any of my information here, please leave a comment. I would really appreciate it. Thanks.